Do you like anime? What about Sword Art Online? Or maybe let's take it back a little bit more. How about Dot Hack? Really? Well, then you're probably a fucking weeaboo. I'm just messing around, but seriously, if you like anime themed or anime inspired MMORPGs, then you might like Phantasy Star Online 2, also known as PSO2. Now this is a first impressions review type video, but it's one of those games that I have played in the past. I just never reached the end game. And it's one of those games that I kind of put away for quite some time, and now I'm jumping back into it, so it feels very much like a first impressions. Maybe this video should be more of a should you still play or should you play type video, but take it as it is. We're doing a review of PSO2. The main question is, should you play PSO2? Is this the game for you? My personal opinion, I'd say hell yes, but the point of this video is to explain to you why I think hell yes. So the first thing you guys need to know is that this is a Japanese game. But before you freak out thinking, oh my god, well, I don't want to play this, I don't want to touch it, I don't want to set up a VPN, you don't have to. You don't have to do none of that bullshit that you usually have to go through to play this game, even though it's in another country. I'll add a link in the description, but someone developed a client called the PSO2 Tweaker, and what this does is it downloads the game for you. It installs different English patches. You can download the basic English patch, the large file if you would like more of the game translated, and even the story English patch. Because of the Tweaker, I feel like I'm just playing a full-on English game. All the important stuff is translated, and because the way the game is designed, it feels like I'm playing a game with servers that are located in my closet. So if you do plan on playing this game after this video, there's a link to the PSO2 Tweaker download and guide on how to get it set up and answer all the questions you have for it. Now I do want to add a warning here for the PSO2 elitist or diehard PSO2 fans that are watching this video. I played this game about a year ago, and I only got to like level 30 or 31, which I think is about halfway to max level. I don't know what the current max cap is, maybe they extended it or maybe it's the same, but I took a break for whatever reason and now I am back. And this time I decided to start fresh and create a new character, and when this video goes up, I'll be between level 20 and 30. So I'm obviously not at the end game, therefore I haven't explored every single feature of the game, and some of the features that I talk about may not be 100% accurate or correct. Regardless, because I would recommend this game to people, it's more of a positive video. So, you know, because I'm promoting your shit, you might want to take it easy. Now what kind of game is PSO2? It is a action combat, PvE focused MMORPG. I've never seen any PvP in this game, and I've looked it up and I couldn't find much on it. Some articles said there was PvP and some said there wasn't, and some said that there was PvP but no one found it interesting whatsoever. And I know that that's a big killer to a lot of people when it comes to MMOs, even to myself. I'm very competitive and I like a sense of endless progression, but I like it when I can show off that progression against other players to pretty much, you know, boost my EP. But for some reason with PSO2, I find this game to be just as fun as any other MMO that I play that does have PvP. And I guess it's because of the amazing combat, the way you can customize your skills, the crazy amount of character customization, but overall I think that it comes down to the epic boss fights. Now when I say epic boss fights, that's like an understatement. The best way to describe it is like the end game of Final Fantasy 14. Which is something I've always wanted to give a try, but you know the grind in 14 is so tedious that I just couldn't get past it. But whenever someone tries to sell me on the game, it's always, dude, wait till you get to the end game raids, they're fucking crazy. I wish I could, but you know I haven't. Maybe in the future. But when it comes to the fights in PSO2, it reminds me of the end game raids in 14, but it's action combat. Now, some of you guys can argue that, Cryy, you've never played 14 before, but I've watched a ton of videos on Final Fantasy 14. I've watched a ton of raids to get myself hyped to play the game, and that was a major selling point to me. So the other day when I was playing PSO2 and got into this super epic boss fight, I was like, holy shit, this is what I wanted out of 14. But personally, to me, it's even better because this game is action combat. So if you love PvE, if you love action combat, if you like lengthy boss battles, if you're a Monster Hunter fan or you're into those co-op type games where you take on hordes of enemies or fight giant bosses in different phases, this game is definitely for you. That's what I really enjoyed about Monster Hunter. It was going on a quest with a group of friends and having these really long ass fights with the monsters. I mean, sometimes they lasted 30 minutes, sometimes 50 minutes. And in this example, in this footage that you guys are seeing right here, this boss fight took around 30 to 40 minutes. This was a quest that we didn't expect. We didn't know what we were getting into. And even at level 20, which is very early on, we get put into this crazy looking boss fight. And when we thought it was over, he had a second phase, and it was like, holy shit, now we have to take him on again? What we didn't know was that the fight was going to last like 30 to 40 minutes. And after that, I thought I was in love with PSO2 already, but then I was just like, holy shit, this game is so good. So for the people that are turned off because this game doesn't have PvP, well, if you're just competitive and you like challenges, that still exists in this game. You can see if you can take on different bosses or different missions with different classes, and I'll explain the classes later on. You can also see if you can complete certain quests under a certain amount of time and challenge yourself against other players, or even beating your own record. Now before I talk about the different types of classes or class system in this game, I want to talk a little bit about the questing system. Now you have Arc Quest, which is pretty much where you go on and you have an objective, collect this or slay these monsters or kill this boss. And then you have Free Field Quest, which allows you to go to different zones or areas and explore, and at the end of the zone you usually fight a boss. Then you have Limited Quest, which I guess are up for a limited time and you can do them whenever. And then you have Emergency Quest, which only happen at certain times of the day, and when this happens, depending on where you are, if you're in a populated area, you'll see a bunch of players head out to join these emergency quests. Now emergency quests are usually like the most epic fights ever. I do recall a few other ones back when I played about a year ago, which involved me fighting some giant fucking dude where I was only the size of his toes, and you had to get on these turrets and shoot these weak points on his body, and then eventually he'll destroy the turrets, and so you jump to another turret, and then you have to take him on with your actual weapon. It was really epic. Now there's a ton of different classes in this game. The cool thing is that you can switch your class at any time. The downside to it is that you have to level that class from scratch. Now there is a subclass system in the game. I'm close to unlocking it on my current character, but I think this allows you to use weapons of another class while still playing on your main class. This game also has a housing system. So you can decorate your house, you can have your own room. It is instanced, so everybody gets one, but as an instance it makes your place feel a bit less important compared to games like Arcade where it's out in the open world and anyone can see it. But it's still a cool feature. And it also has team housing, so if you have a guild in this game you can also have a guild area. There's a story in this game as well, but I have not paid attention to it whatsoever, and I did not translate the story, which is an option, but because stories usually don't appeal to me in MMORPGs, I just, didn't bother with it. Now how's the combat? How do the skills work in this game? Left click is your basic attack and right click are your combo skills. The way it works is that you build a combo out of 3 different skills, and the way you obtain these skills is by picking them up like items out in the open when you go out, hunting or on a quest. When you kill mobs, they drop items, they drop loot, weapons, whatever. When you pick up these discs, you can use them, and that allows you to learn a skill. And once you learn the skill, you have it forever. It is possible to pick up duplicate skills so you can just sell them or feed them to your mag, which is like your sidekick, your little pet companion that's always with you. Because if you don't feed it, he won't do shit. But as you continue to pick up these skills, you'll eventually have a library, tons of skills to browse through to select. And you can mix and match those skills for different weapons. So with the great sword, I can use, of course, only great sword skills, but I can put them in any order that I want to. So one skill might be me swinging my sword and sending a shockwave in front of me. Another skill might be a spin, and another skill might be me stabbing someone and slamming them to the ground with my sword. Depending on the animations and how slow certain skills are, you might want to rework that and put them in a different order. Or sometimes you'll find a skill that you find to be complete shit, so you won't use it at all. But that's the cool thing about this game. There's so many different skills, and there's even higher level versions of that skill. Now I mentioned character customization earlier. When I talked about it like it was one of the pros of this game, I did not mean the actual character customization where you're messing with your face and your body. Yes, they do give you a lot of options, a lot of different sliders, though it's a bit weird. It allows you to morph your character in a different way. But what I really meant was the true end game of every MMORPG, which is fashion. In this game, they have hundreds, maybe thousands of costumes and accessories, different poses, different voices, different hairstyles. There's so many tiny things that you can get to customize your character. Earrings, a fish hanging out your mouth, different eyebrows, a scarf, a cape, glasses, an eye patch. While I sit in this lobby, I do see some rather weird conversations, but I guess that just makes the game more spicy. But yeah, the customization is fucking crazy, and that's one of my favorite things about this game. You don't have to put money into it either. There are player shops available, and what's cool is that players can actually customize their shops with their own banners and things like that. But pretty much every single costume item or accessory is obtainable with in-game currency, and you can just buy it from player shops. Now I'm on ship number 2, which is the ship where most of the English players hang out. And just being on this ship, certain floors are maxed out. So there's hundreds of players online, and hundreds in an MMORPG isn't that much, but this is a instanced co-op type of game, so it works not having fucking 100,000 on at once. I don't think anyone would want to see that many players in the lobby anyway. Now I haven't checked the other servers, but I'm pretty sure the Japanese players are actually on those other servers, and who knows how populated those are. But for the English community alone playing on a foreign client, there's still a ton of people. And the English players in this game are really dedicated. So if you would like to play PSO2, you never have to worry about not having someone to meet or play with. Now I know I haven't discussed every single feature of this game, but I also haven't explored every single feature of this game. But if you're watching this wondering if this is a game you should play, you're out of MMOs at the moment and you're looking for something to jump right into to have fun, maybe you're looking for something more casual, but still has the option to be played hardcore. Maybe you want something to play with friends, but should you guys try this game out? I think so. If you don't like anime, if that's a turnoff to you, if you can't get with a game that doesn't have super realistic graphics, then it's probably not for you. If playing a game on a foreign client is a huge turnoff to you, then it's probably not for you. But as you guys know, I play a ton of Eastern games in different regions, and I have to jump through all these obstacles just to play them. And this is by far the easiest to set up. But it's like 50 gigs or so it is pretty large, and they do recommend that you install it on your C drive. And that left me with like 10 gigs left because my SSD is really small. Only downside to this whole entire experience was that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're playing PSO2. Let me know if you plan on playing PSO2, because maybe we can link up and take down some epic bosses together. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you soon, friends.